Welcome to part three of Keep Loan Sell with the Overland Sea team. It's the last category, which is forwards. Hope you've enjoying the mini series so far. Andrew, over to you. We've got Cole Palmer, which I don't think is a difficult decision at all.
Yeah, sell. I think we can get 150 million for him.
Do you know what? That's not a bad shout. That is one way to get money, but
No, obviously he's a keep. He's been our best signing, I think, of the Bowley era so far. When you look at the amount of money, the fact he's English, and
he's
what he's
been a
done so
steal,
far,
absolute steal.
I think that's worked really well. And he was probably the one that I questioned the most when we signed him.
Yeah,
Maybe outside of
you did
Deserbi,
question
really.
quite a bit actually. Yeah,
He only had 500 Premier League minutes, and I was like, Pep doesn't let good players go, and he's massively proved me wrong. So fingers crossed that all continues. Mudrick,
it's a tough one.
he's one that's on my list of. I do see ability there, and there's something. It's difficult for him to get a run of games at the minute with Sterling playing so well, and they want to play on that side, and obviously Cole Palmer playing so well on the other side. So it's difficult for him to get minutes. I do think he's a good player. I think for the minute he's one that we keep, and
Really,
maybe at the end of the season you go loan him out and see if he can prove himself in a different league and get some form and some confidence back. Because I think a lot of it is confidence for him. I think there is a lot of ability there. Um,
I agree. With the minutes, I actually just feel like he needs to be loaned. I think he works hard. He's from what we keep hearing, he's a really good trainer. You know, he looks up for games. Just I think confidence is part of it. I think he struggled to gel with certain players, and therefore how he wants to play versus how other players in the team want to play. And I think that's where his confidence is lacking quite a bit. Um, I'd I don't know if I don't know if it will leave us too short. That's the only problem. But for me, I've been thinking like, do you know what? I think he needs a loan. I just think he needs a loan at a team where he's going to get minutes. Um, Hopefully one that we could find that plays similarly to us. But I just think he just needs minutes. And you're right, it's tough. Sterling has impressed me this season. I didn't think Sterling would be as good as he has been. I thought Mudrick would be getting in front of him, to be honest, and would be in front of him by now. Um, do you think if we were to loan him out, it would leave us too short?
I think it would just with
Yeah,
our injury history and
it's fair
Noni's not
shout.
exactly
I mean,
fit as bloke. Sterling's had injuries, I think, this season,
yeah, he's had one that left him
and
out for a few
Kunku's
weeks.
barely stayed fit. So I mean, Jackson can play out wide, but yeah, I think I would keep him around this year. I also don't think having a 6 month loan really gives him a lot of time. Midway through a season where he's already struggling, I think if we're going to loan him out, we loan him out early in the next window, and we go, here you go out there, have a decent loan, um, and build some confidence where you're definitely going to get some minutes if you're trying hard and playing well. So he's got a pre-season time to get to know his team. I do think if Nkunku's fit, Mudrick plays differently. I just think Mudrick and Nkunku Jackson just linked up really well in pre-season. I think not having Nkunku fit and now we don't have Jackson, it's it's difficult for him because he just doesn't seem to know where players are going to be.
He does like to cut inside a lot as well.
He does, and I think he needs like a Chilwell running outside him.
Yes, we've said this before. Having a proper left back that knows the
Goes
position
outside
well,
him and
the
wants to put the
timings,
ball
the
in
channels. Yes, absolutely.
will make a huge difference for him because then it makes players make a decision on whether they can go with him or they leave him to centre backs and might give him an extra yard of space because he can shoot, he can cross, he's got a decent pass on him at times. He scored a couple of goals. He has everything in his game. It is just confidence and an over reliance on certain moves that he likes doing. And I think he just needs to bring more into his game that will come with a bit of confidence as well because he he's shown at times that he's quite scary with how well he can control the ball and start running at people so quickly.
He's so fast
So he is one that is definitely in a keep or a loan. But I think
for the moment.
the period we're in, I'd rather keep him around Chelsea and make that decision in the summer relatively early on if he is going to be one that we want to loan out. I think loaning him right at the end of the transfer window after we've given him a good look at in summer would be a mistake. I think we have to make that decision at the end of the season and go either we want him to stay around and fight for his place, or we want to give him a season elsewhere where he's going to play week in, week out, and then give him a chance to win his spot during pre-season rather than him trying to win a spot, taking him up to Christmas, and then he's got 6 months of actually playing.
Yeah, I do agree with that. The other thing that I thought of was, you know what, because he's not playing football anymore, is I'd love for them to bring Hazard back as a coach to work with him. Do you know how you talked
Yeah,
about like his turning when he's got his back to the like the opposing
yeah.
team, his turning? I saw a video with Hazard talk about like the different things he used to do to distinguish how he was going to turn away from somebody. I think it was with Thierry Henry. I can't remember. And I was like, "Do you know what? Like, if we could get Hazard back to work with him, I actually think that would be brilliant for him."
I do think Hazard is genetically a bit of a freak, though. I think
No,
his
I
body
agree. I,
makeup makes some like a big difference.
I agree, but just thinking in terms of former players that we've had
Certainly wouldn't hurt. Yeah.
that could work with him. I was just like, I do see some similarities because Hazard was quick with the ball, he had so much control. But even just like I said, just if he was to work with him on turning,
Mm.
yeah, which is something he struggles with. You know, well, we both said it when he's got his back to the opposing team. I just think, I think you could see a different player. So if we get him, if that were to happen for like the second half of the season, and then, like you said, I agree, it's probably not the right time to loan him out because that would probably leave us a little bit short.
I also just don't think. I think going to another club when you're short of confidence and then trying to force your way into the team, we're not setting him up for a decent loan. I think we are better off keeping him around this
Yeah.
year and then giving a decent chance at a loan when he's got a pre-season to work with people.
Well, it's like
I
when you've
think.
got.
I think he's a keep.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. I mean, I wouldn't. I agree, but I mean, at the same time, like I said, there's a part of me that goes, I wouldn't.
Move him into keep. He's a keep.
Noni.
He's also a keep. I think he's the only one. I think he's just got a bit of everything in his game. I think he's the most natural winger that we've got at being able to cut in and go wide. And I
Yeah.
think he causes absolute nightmares for players. I think he's a decent enough finisher, and he's shown that on his day. A little bit lack of consistency, but I rated him since we signed him, and I think he could be a very good player for us as a different option to Cole Palmer, especially because he's just they're both like cutting in, but he's a bit of a different player
Yeah.
entirely. So I think he's a great option. Sterling is a
Well,
definite keep.
had it not been for a few games recently over the last few weeks, the last month, he would have been on my loan list. And apparently the club would think about loaning him, but I think he's definitely done enough to say he should stay.
Yeah, I I agree with myself. He should stay. Sterling's a keep. I think he's shown all season that the player that we wanted him to be when he signed for us. Very dangerous running at players. Won us a fair few pens this season. Caused a lot of problems. Scored a few goals. Would like more goals from him, but
So
I
about a
think
few players.
yeah, yeah, and he has been running wide rather than going cutting in. I just don't think there's space to cut in, which is what he likes doing. And I think again with a top quality forward, I think he gets a lot. He would have had a lot of assists this season.
Yeah.
And the lack of decent quality runs has cost him. But easy keep. Jackson, I think you've just got to keep him at the minute. there's signs there, and we've only just signed him, so it's difficult to write him off that quickly. I don't think he's been that bad that we should write him off. He does need to improve, but he has been improving slowly. So I'm hoping he's one that it can take a good season and a half for strikers at Chelsea to come good, and I'm hoping he's one of those. And I don't think he's not one that likes playing up front by himself. So I do think with Nkunku, it can make a difference having someone a little bit closer to him that can support him.
Well, we were all quite happy with what he did in the preseason,
Yeah,
but obviously those teams weren't playing low blocks.
yeah,
And
true.
obviously,
And all his goals were chipped through balls.
and also we were. I think you said it before. We were ahead of the game with regards to our fitness levels in
Yeah,
preseason compared to a lot of other teams.
teams didn't really look at it. They were playing for fitness, not playing
Yeah,
mentally there. So it was, it is what it is, and it was what it was. And Kunku is a definite keep. He has impressed in the few games that he's played, but I think he starts ending up on that list of potential injuries, and you look at it.
he's got a season. For me, he's got a season just because.
Yeah, I think you've got to give him two. Again, we signed a
Well,
player while he's injured.
no, I agree, and I'm not
It's
saying that's anything to. That's not his fault. But again, I'm just
mm,
looking at it from a point of view in terms of having someone on the books where we know when he's fully fit what he can do. I don't want that to be. I don't want that to become our narrative almost.
yeah, yeah. When our best 11 is out, we win every game, but it's only three times a season that we get that.
Yeah,
This
and
is probably where we have been and where we are at the minute.
there's a
And I
couple
like
of
it.
there's a couple of positions for me where I've said it before, which is why I've said James might be the only one. But then again, if he is going to be like that, and we get a decent price, a decent offer for him, you might have to go. Yeah, do you know what? We'll sell you for 60 to 80 mil. Um, because we won't be as competitive as we should be, and there's a few of them that we've said that that's the case. If it goes on, you've got your best players out injured all the time, or supposedly your best players out injured all the
But
time.
I think this is one also where, because we've got Malagusto behind Reece James, and you go, that's a pretty reasonable understudy.
I
I think
completely agree.
if we
I
had,
completely agree.
I think if we signed Ivan Tony, you kind of go right. And Kunku is a very good player and potentially better than the other options we've got in behind the striker or right wing, left wing on his day. And it starts to become is it worth having 20 games of Nkunku? And he probably ends up playing more games on the basis that he doesn't need to play every game every week.
No, and I agree with that philosophy. But the thing for me though now is, let's face it, this is me we're talking about. I don't understand the whole financial fair play situation fully. All I know is we spent a shit ton of money, and we've got to be very careful about how we navigate. And
Mm.
actually, at the moment, there are certain players that we're looking at selling because they're homegrown. Some of which I can go, do I want them to stay? Yes. Can I see why they're being sold? Yes. One in particular with Gallagher, I get why they're going to sell him, but I don't want them to sell him. Um, my issue is we all know we need a striker. If we go out and get the Tony or we get the Osman, what does that do to that? What else are we then going to have to go through to almost have quality in certain positions that are backups? Like you said, if we've got an out and out striker, or another player that does what Nkuku can do for us, and we do get the best out of Nkuku because he only has to play 20 games and we don't have to play him all the time, and he's got more time to recover and all that sort of stuff, then great. But can we afford to do that? I don't know. I'm more than happy for him to stay at the moment because we know what he can do. He was the player that everyone was excited about for this season. And had it not been for a dodgy pitch in pre-season, why they even played on that pitch, I don't know. They're
And a
allowed to.
dodgy challenge.
Well, there was a dodgy challenge, yeah, but he didn't go. He went down a lot later, so I don't know whether. Anyway,
You know,
he stays, but for me, it's one of those ones where
I think you give him the rest of the season, you give him another one.
I
Personally,
will be I will be asking questions this time next season, is what I'm saying.
yeah, okay.
If
He doesn't have a
injuries
decent run of
carry,
games.
yeah, if injuries carry on this time next season, I'm asking questions again.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I do want to keep him around, but another injury-prone one, really, that hasn't really hit form. Maybe you give him a loan and see what he can do and up his value, but I would like to keep him around, but he hasn't really shown it. I would stick him. Do you know what? I would stick him in loan.
I'd sell him.
I'd give him another season out on loan because I just think if he stays fit for another season, I think he can really bump his value up a little bit.
Yeah, but
I don't think you get much from him at the minute.
but again, I'm coming at from this from the point of view, and I've just said it. I don't fully understand the financial fair play. I don't know how much money we have to be able to pay off. Is it 120, 140 million we've got to pay off by the end of this season?
I don't know. I don't know where you're getting these numbers from.
I remember I've seen like talks and like Simon Jordan talk about stuff on Talk Sport and things.
We are a team that needs to sell players every season.
Yeah.
Is the problem. You don't know what the value is of the players we've already got in the sell column. There will be a couple joining from what's left. So I'm hoping we don't need to sell him, and he's one that we kind of eye up to sell next season, unless he's absolutely mustard. But I think we do buy a striker in the summer.
And that's the other thing as well. Like we know we need a striker. So what I'm trying to say is if we know we need a proper striker, so whether that's Tony or Osman, for just for sake's purpose, surely Broja will be third in line.
At best, yeah.
Yeah. So I get
why I do think that we could just, if we don't desperately need to sell him for FFP, I think with FFP how it is and the players that we've signed, I think for a number of years we have to sell players.
Yeah.
So I think we sell the ones that we've got in there this year before the end of the season, and then Broja we sell next summer.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at the fact that Cucurella, no one wanted him apparently, or maybe a couple of teams did, but we decided to keep him on. I mean, Saar we're not going to get much money for. We're going to lose money on Kepa. Dizazi, what, 30, 35 mil probably? Because everyone knows we need the money, so they'll probably try and stinge us. Matson, what, 25 mil? 30? Max?
But what are you giving to Broja? What are you saying Broja? We're going to sell Broja for?
I think Broja's in the same bracket. I think Broja's probably going to be about 20 to 30 mil. I don't think we'll get. I think 35 mil is we're singing. I don't think we'll get anywhere near 35 mil. I think 30 is probably the best we'll do. And the thing is teams are interested in him. And like I said, from a selling point of view, it's well, if you're trying to get a striker and you've already got people that can kind of play a false nine or not, or what, but a striker is what we're trying to basically go out and get and achieve, and a good one, and we've got to make money to spend money. Then for me, I'm going, will you sell him?
Fine.
Especially if he's going to be the third choice.
I'm not that strong either way. I think we need to sell players over a number of years. So that's where I'm sort of coming from, that I think he's one that if we loaned him out could increase his value significantly to a point where it becomes beneficial.
But I'm also saying
I don't feel that strongly about loaning him out or selling him. So stick him where you want.
I'll stick him in sell. And I agree with what you're saying, but I'm going to stick him in sell because if people want him and we need to make money, then I'm like, yeah, just sell him. Because if we're going to get a striker, he'd be third choice.
Yeah, you need a third choice striker.
Well, we've got other players that can technically go in that position if we really need them to be the third choice, is what I'm trying to get at.
Well, yeah, because you're playing Kunku and Jackson as well. And then, yeah. Washington is just a loan for me.
Yeah.
He's doing well in the under 21s. And I think he just needs to play minutes. Whether that be in the Championship or France or somewhere. Preferably, I'd stick him in the Championship and get him used to English football. But yeah, I think that's an easy loan.
Yeah.
Lukaku is the easiest sell going.
Well, apparently not, because no one will actually buy him or go to a club. But I know what you mean.
He refuses to sign for anyone um, and then touts himself around to other teams and pisses off the only club that will actually buy him. So yeah, he's a pain in
Apparently,
the ass.
well,
Apparently, he's
apparently
open to Saudi now, though. So hopefully,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
can get some money from him in Saudi, and we'll
yeah.
probably get a better transfer fee, and he'll get paid well, and he can shut up and get out of everyone's lives.
Well, I think they're offering him a 50 or 60 million contract, like for
Fine.
2 years. He'll earn 60 million over 2 years or something silly.
Fair. And then hopefully he's worth at least 60 million to them purchasing him as well. But because I think he was being offered something silly, like I think at one point they were offering him like 200 million or something of a contract.
No, I think he wanted it. I think
Maybe, yeah.
Benzema was getting paid a shit ton. Kante was getting paid a shit ton. You know,
Right.
and then he come along, and then all of a sudden he felt like he was being shortchanged.
Yeah. He ain't
So
that good though. Moreira, I think I'd sell him.
I've
He's
not seen that much of him, to be fair.
I haven't seen a lot, but what I have seen of him, he's not been good. Because
Fair.
he hasn't played that many games for us, but he's I think always been the worst player on the pitch whenever he's played, and he was playing against the dodgy
Yeah.
teams in the EFL.
I remember that it was the
The
Wimbledon game,
Carabao Cup. Yeah, Wimbledon.
round three of the League Cup, and you were like, mate, he came on, and Jesus
He's
Christ.
gone out on loan to Lyon, and they're in the relegation zone, and I don't think he's like regularly playing there. And obviously, he's not doing that well because if they're getting relegated, their forwards aren't doing particularly well.
No,
Um, so yeah, I think he's one that we basically got for free, and we could probably get 5 million for. Um,
sells a sell.
basically, ZH is a sell for me as well.
Oh, 100%.
Just, oh, I thought he was next. Who's that then?
I was wondering if you'd be able to get that one.
I can't see. Oh, is that Richards?
No, 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 no. I didn't put
Oh,
Rich.
and Angelo.
Yeah,
Angelo.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think the rest of these three are alone for me. I think Angelo was slightly interesting, but the wingers that we've got, I don't see him getting minutes at all for us at the
Well,
minute.
this was the thing for me because I was like, do you know, when I was thinking about it, when I was doing it, I was like, oh, loan Mudrick and bring him back because he's got a bit of confidence.
How
So
old have you got stats on him from
I've got a
Strasbourg?
little bit.
Go
So
on then.
he's on loan at Strasbourg. He's
Yeah.
made 19 appearances in all competitions, no goals, 2 assists.
So not that much confidence then.
Well, I've heard that he's actually been doing well. I think he started off okay. People are excited about him. I don't think they've you've got the numbers that really you want from a winger.
Yeah.
Let's face it. But again,
I thought
I
didn't he
don't know
get a
how good
worldie of an
Strasbourg
assist
are.
there?
Huh?
Did he get like an absolute worldie of an assist on one of those?
Yeah,
I thought he scored a worldie of a goal and that
I
went
thought he got a couple of
semi-viral.
goals, but I haven't seen. I honestly, I've looked. I had to get the assist from a different. Right, I looked at like one shot site. It's like no goals, 19 appearances, all competitions. And I was like, please tell me he's been banging in the assist though. Like, let's just pump this up a little bit. It's like,
Yeah.
so I was like, oh fuck.
I think
Uh,
he's one that loans, and I think we probably loan him out next year as well and try and get him. It's probably Championship or something, just some English football.
I thought he had better numbers to be honest, but he still sounds like an exciting player.
Yeah, and I think I actually think that a lot of the youngsters that we've ended up buying is knowing that we'll have to sell players in the
Yeah,
future, and we're hoping they just sort of naturally we buy these players, get tribunal prices for them, and then sell them for 10 million when we've sort of got them for 3 to 5 in the future. So yeah, I think he's alone. Castledine is alone because he just needs minutes. I know he's highly
I've only just
thought
put
of.
him in because he
He played the
started.
other week.
Yeah, and
I think
Terry speaks really highly of him.
yeah, I didn't see a lot of him against Middlesbrough. I know he's thought highly of. He's one that needs minutes and see how he does in men's football. Because some of them are incredibly highly thought of. Start having loans in men's football and nothing really comes of it.
Yeah,
Um, so I think he is one that needs a loan. And then for Fana, He's still on a loan for me. He's edging towards sell, but I think the bits of him that I've seen in terms of his dribblings, he, his dribbling is good enough that I can kind of see a player out of him, even if he
Yeah,
ends up becoming a winger or something. I think he's one that at least has value in the future, and as we didn't buy him for a tiny amount of money, so if we can loan him out, get a loan fee that's similar to the amortization that we've got on him for a year, and hopefully has a decent loan and at least blows up his value and make a decision on whether he's worth putting back into the team as either a backup winger or as a striker. I don't think he stays at Chelsea long term at the minute, just because of the number of players that we've got, and also needing a striker and how young a lot of the players are.
yeah.
But
I thought his loan at Union Berlin was going to go a little bit better. I mean, he made
yeah,
17 appearances, got 2 goals. I mean, he scored on his debut. It was a really nice finish, and I
yeah.
thought he showed promise in pre-season. Um,
Has he played for Burnley yet at all?
no, not the moment that I've seen. No, and that's the other thing for me as well. I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, please give him some minutes.
Mm,
The only other one that I wanted to include in this, but realistically, like there was absolutely no point because he technically is still not allowed to play for us. Is Kendry Paez,
yeah,
because that's another exciting one.
I think as soon as he's here, he stays.
I can't wait. I think there was something about. I know he's trained with the team already,
Yeah,
but I think I've even heard that actually he might be able to join us this summer. There might be
there's
some weird rule.
rumours that he might be able to get a work permit somehow, like a weird
Yeah,
exemption thing.
yeah,
But I think generally the 18 rule doesn't is fixed, and you can't move until you're 18. And I think that's what it ends up being.
I don't know.
I don't know what his 18th birthday is either. I think he's like 16 at the minute. So
Yeah,
we're
I
very
thought I
surprised if we
had.
don't try and make it as soon as he turns 18. He comes and is with us full time. But
Well, I thought I heard that there might be a way around it this summer. Which if I either way, even if he
I
can't,
so what I've heard is that he will come and train with us in the summer.
that's it. I want to see him on the preseason.
I think he might be able to do a preseason with us, but he can't. He won't be able to be registered in the Prem.
That's fine. But if I would love to see what he can do in a preseason with the team.
Mm.
And like we played some big teams in our preseason this year. A lot of Premiership teams, which you know.
The thing is, you never know. Like this preseason, it looked very easy, didn't it? We looked like we were going to run away with the league during this preseason.
Well, I don't think run away with the league, but I thought maybe yeah we'll definitely be pushing for the top four.
We'll put the forward to
Um,
Brighton, pick
Newcastle,
Newcastle.
yeah, yeah. So
Um,
Dortmund,
yeah,
then we played Wrexham.
yeah, fine.
I feel like I'm missing one more team there, but
Doesn't really matter.
no.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
think
If he can play preseason, that'd be great. But there was no point bringing him into this because we've got one option with him, which is loan.
yeah, he stays at
And
man.
also going back to what you were saying with regards to like the striker situation, this is another reason why I wanted Broja in the cells because you've got David Fofana out on loan. I don't know if Angelo Gabriel can also play there, but obviously he plays wing. You've even got a third, fourth choice in Fofana if we really needed him. It's
Yeah, at the minute you don't because he's at Burnley.
no, exactly. But what I'm saying is in terms
And he'd
of
have played for two clubs, so he won't actually be able to play, which is, I think, why we're in a dangerous position with owner Santos. I think we just can't loan out because he
what
played for us. I think there's
what
someone that played for us and then we loaned them out and now can't go back out on loan. I think it might be Santos. Maybe it's Big Les. I can't remember. I think there was one that was in a weird position where because he played somewhere else or played for us, then played somewhere else, he can only play for us for the rest of the
that
season.
might be Big Les then because Santos has already. Oh, but did he not make an appearance against Liverpool or something
I
before he
think
went on
Santos might
loan
have
to
done.
Forest? Don't know.
Anyway,
Well, I don't think that's too bad. There weren't too many disagreements in there.
no. yeah, so yeah, that's where we're at. I think we have to reevaluate in the summer.
Yeah. I just hope Napoli want Lukaku. If we're going for Osimhen, I just hope Napoli, and that's
They won't make it easy on us.
no, I know they
They'll
won't.
make it more difficult to sign him, and then we'll probably just not sign Lukaku purely off the basis that they just want to make it more difficult for us to sign Osimhen.
Yeah.
But we move.
I mean, we've got what, one goalkeeper in the sell column. We've got four defenders slash five if you include Lewis Hall. He's really the only midfielder, and then the rest are all forwards. Got four forwards.
Yeah,
Fair.
I mean, yeah, the only one that we've got at the club really in the cell, we've only got Broya, Kukurea, and Dizazi that have really been at any point involved this season for us. Mattson had a couple of half appearances.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And with the injuries we've got, the main problem that we've got is it's pointless fucking buying these big players if we can't keep them fit, and we need to keep players fit.
no, I agree. Well, the medical side of things is definitely something that should be looked at and should be sorted out by now. If it's not sorted out by the beginning of next season, then I think it's going to annoy a lot
It's
of
just an
people.
absolute shambles. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't win leagues having
No.
double-digit injuries
No.
consistently throughout the season.
Then again, I don't know how hard it is to find these. I don't know whether you can. I don't know whether you can pinch them from another sport, or whether they should already come from a football team. How many of them are going to want to join
Arsenal
us?
pinched United.
I don't know.
I think
Huh?
either someone pinched Arsenal's top doctor or Arsenal pinched United's doctor at the beginning of the season.
I think Arsenal pinch United's.
So you can do it.
No, no, of course you can do it, but again, at the moment, what is there a draw for a good team doctor to come to us? Are there good team doctors at
London.
a mid-level team that would want to come to Chelsea? I don't know. How would you? I wouldn't know how to tell you if a team's got a good doctor or not. That's the thing. It's not like looking at a winger or a midfielder. So
No, I think in the circles, right? I
yeah, of
think
course you do.
if you're in it's not someone that we can go and say, oh, we want to bring in X doctor from Norwich or Y doctor from Brighton. But I think in the community, they'll know who the good ones are and who the absolute mustard ones are. And I think you go Chelsea, decent club in London, will pay them well, I'm assuming.
Hope so.
And I think in the situation that we've been in the last couple of years, it's almost like the manager job where it's like there's not really a risk at Chelsea because everyone gets sacked at Chelsea.
You're
And
gonna
with the
get
dogs things
paid
like
either
we've
way. You'll
had
get paid.
double-digit injuries for the last 2 seasons, so like that's kind of the expected level at this point. But if you're the bloke that comes in and turns it around, I think that does wonders for your career, and you get paid well while you're doing it. And
Yeah.
even if you want to move to like the England job or whatever it is, I I don't think there's any real downside from it because I don't think anyone expects you to turn it around with the amount of injury prone players we've got. But there's a huge upside of if you manage to fix it, then you become the top bloke in the world in sports scientists and chief doctors, and
BBC's
you can have whatever
Sport
you want.
Medic of the Year.
Yeah, I'd have him. Whoever that is, that's who we need.
No, it's a shout, but no, you're absolutely right. There's no point. Yeah, I mean, we need better medical team at the moment. It's something's clearly not right, or maybe it's the fact that we have bought a load of duds, or they've had serious injuries and now they've become duds. I don't know,
Mm.
but yeah. Anything else that you would like to add to the third part of Keep Loan Sell January
No, my
20?
camera's very close to dying, so nothing.
Say again.
My camera's very close to dying, so nothing.
Yeah, mine too. So thank you all for watching part 3, the final part. Leave your comments below, and thank you all for watching.